Hello and welcome to another edition of Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring. Thank you for watching. We are with Endure Entertainment Television Network. We are so glad that you came in to join us on today. As you know, I am Anjanette and I am a mental health advocate, an author, almost, and a minister. And you won't hear me say that a lot, but there's a reason why I say that. It's because I think that we need to have a conversation that is based around Christ and mental illness. Before we start, let's pay some bills and welcome to Anjanette Speaks with Endure Entertainment. Hello, everyone. Let me get some folks on to make sure that we are live. Yes, we are. All right. So, in the comment section of Facebook, you guys can comment. Also, you can comment right here on this live. And we will be able to talk and engage. Today's topic is going to be about generalized anxiety disorder. You're going to see me looking over because I am going to be talking and reading some information that I pulled up just so that we can have a better understanding of what this is. I am one that has suffered silently with several mental illnesses that come to find out was running in my family. It's genetics. So later on in life, I did find that out. But the first diagnosis that I got was in 2019, and that was generalized anxiety disorder. Now, what does generalized anxiety disorder mean, right? Does it mean that you're just nervous? Well, there's a couple of things that happened to me over the course of time that I just thought it was just worry, or, thought it was, at the time, I thought I was just always tripping and scared or whatever. So say, for instance, there will be times that I will be driving down the street, right, for instance, and something would come over me that my house would be burning down, or that, did you turn off the iron? Oh my God, what if you didn't turn off the iron? Oh my God. So I'm in dread, right? So now I'm like, Steven is burning up in the house, the kids are dying, I'm panicking, my heart's racing fast, I'm in tears, and I'm like, what is going on? Get to the house, and it's like, oh, nothing's wrong. My children, when they were little, I didn't like them to go play outside because I was always afraid that they would get kidnapped or something would happen to them, or they would get hit by a car, and these very intrusive thoughts of, it gives you a mental picture. Anxiety will take over your life and keep you in fear if you are not careful, right? And you don't know what it is. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, why are you so scared of that? It makes you not trust people. It makes you think of scenarios in your mind that you would normally think about. So for years, I always tell y'all I went undiagnosed for years, right? So for years, I had all these intrusive thoughts. I have all these issues with like my kids and being afraid of my kids and all of that stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So then come to find out, I had a generalized anxiety disorder. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you have, constant worry along with depression, along with ADD? So, I'm all over the place, right? So sometimes I would get in my mind and I would pray, and I'm like, if you're going to worry, don't pray. If you're going to pray, don't worry, right? And so it's like I kept trying to figure out, like, how am I going to pray about, oh, Lord, please don't let my house be burnt down. Lord, please don't let da-da-da happen. Lord, please, help me do this. And so after a while, it became overwhelming. It stopped me from my job. It kept me from succeeding, kept me from applying for jobs that I knew I qualified for. A lot of people was wondering, like, why did you stay an assistant manager so long at your job? I was scared. I was scared of failing. I was scared of getting fired. I knew that my cycle was up and down. I was dealing with, during the winter months, I would be so depressed that I wouldn't be productive. And I just felt like all that pressure on me may have made me not succeed. And I was afraid of that as well. So what is generalized anxiety disorder? What is it? What is it? What is it? So it is a disorder, and I'm looking for the definition that I printed out. It is characterized by 6 months or more of chronic exaggerated worry, tension, and the unfounded or much more severe than normal anxiety. So there's a situation like you have normal anxiety. You're going on an interview and you get your nerves. Or as a preacher, we preach and you get your nerves, right? So you guys like, comment, and share, by the way. I'm not good at that, but like, comment, and share. Facebook, like, comment, and share. Share. Sharing is caring. YouTube, share. Okay? Let's get the numbers up. So anyway, it is severe worry more than normal, right? So you're going to have that regular anxiety if you got to preach or if you got to speak or something like that. You're nervous about something, meeting new people. Sometimes you're nervous. That's normal. But when there's an exaggerated thing where I used to go to the store and think to myself, oh God, what if somebody is going to kidnap my son? I need to make sure I watch Steven while I'm making this, and I need to do this and I need to make sure the girls don't go anywhere, and I need to, and so all the whole time I'm thinking, I'm not telling them, oh my God, I'm thinking about, I would never park it, where people were, it was weird. Like, trust me, going into HEB, going into Walmart, and thinking that somebody might shoot it up. So I'm in there hurrying up, trying to get everything because I'm thinking in my mind, what am I going to do? I'm looking at the exits. What am I? So that's not normal. That's exaggerating anxiety, right? So people with this disorder usually expect the worst. We usually expect for things to be worse than what they are, right? And so let me fix this. This is not doing well. Hold on. I'm having my laptop broke, y'all. So like I'm having some little couple of 2-3 issues. So forgive me. This will be better. I'm changing the whole set around. So in a little while, we won't even have these issues. So the thing that was the problem was that I was like getting like really bad anxiety, right? And I couldn't function. I couldn't function. It was hard for me to drive. I would have severe panic attacks where I would get lost. And my son was trying to figure out, Mom, can I help you? Is there anything I can do? Because I was just in a situation where I could not function. So if that is you and you feel as though, maybe there's a situation where you can't function and you can't really understand what is going on, that is exactly what is going on. Excuse me. Right? You're having anxiety. You're having anxiety. So, hey, Gary, thank you for watching. My God, that's my brother. Gary, thank you for watching. So let's talk a little bit about how do you know that you have general anxiety disorder? Like what does that look like? And how do you know that's what you have? And what do you do? Do you go to your doctor? And how do you explain to your doctor? Well, you can tell them, hey, I was watching this lady and she's like a mental health advocate, and she kind of described everything that I'm going through. So I wanted to know if I could, how can I get this diagnosis, or how can I get the help that I need? So, fatigue, okay, lack of normal amount of energy. Now, when you have thought so much about death, about things that's going on, about what possibly could be wrong, what could go wrong, about getting evicted, about losing your children, about people dying, about all this stuff, right? Your brain gets tired, and then in the result, your body is worn out and you're tired all the time, right? People say, oh, you lazy, you don't want to get up, you only get up for work. Yeah, but you don't know what people are going through in their mental state, where it's like, man, you don't know what's happening with them. And so I think sometimes we need to pay attention to what people are doing and why they're laying down. And oftentimes depression and anxiety kind of go together. So then depression is where you just don't care, and anxiety is where you care too much, right? And so what happens is then you have this thing where you're going back and forth, teetering between two. I don't care, I'm gonna lay down, I gotta get up. I don't care, something's gonna happen. Oh, I'm hopeless. Oh my God, I gotta do something. So you're constantly crazy, okay? Irritability without cause, snapping at people, not wanting to be bothered, like, oh, leave me alone. What? Like somebody call your name, you like, what? Because you have been thinking about stuff all day, you scared, you always like on edge. It's anxiety. Trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. It causes insomnia. On top of depression, it causes insomnia, right? And so you can't sleep, or you sleep too much. There are times that I slept all day, and you never know why you're doing that. It's just, you just do it because it's all your body can take. Like your body feels like so lethargic. Is the only way I can describe it. Like I told a friend of mine that is one of his children is going through depression and maybe some anxiety, but it feels like your own body weight. You're carrying that around. Can you imagine how you feel carrying your own body weight around all the time? That can be extremely, extremely, extremely exhausting, carrying yourself around all the time, right? So, hey, Ingrid, thank you. It's like your shoulders are tight. It's like literally somebody is laying on you. And you wonder why people are laying in the bed, why they are so anxious about stuff. It's because they suffer from GAD and don't know it. Another thing, sweating, nausea, and headaches, right? So that's some of the things that happens when you have that. Now let me tell y'all this real quick. I had an experience when I was having trouble with GAD, right? I didn't know it. So I got lost. And this used to happen a lot. It started happening a lot. And if it happens to you, this is probably a very severe case of GAD. I'm not a mental health, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I'm not diagnosing you, but it is worth checking out. So I would be driving. And I remember one particular time I went to take my son to register for football. And we were off of 151. And right there where 151 and 410 kind of meet, you got to get off. And it's kind of tricky, or else you'll end up on 410 South. And I couldn't get back home. I was lost. So it caused me anxiety. And I didn't get nausea. I got nauseated, but I got diarrhea so bad. Oh my God, my stomach was hurting. I could not figure out how to get home. 410 was not 410, if y'all understand what I'm saying. It was just 410. Where does that go? What does that do? So I pulled over. I went to the bathroom in the CVS. I threw up. It was horrible. My son was in the car with me. He's like, Mommy, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I go over and I'm like, what is going on? So I sit in the car. Y'all, I could simply Google in my phone the way to get home. Google it. It wasn't even a thought. I'm lost. I'm never going to get home. We're going to be stuck in this house. Nobody knows who I am. I don't know my name. I was totally discombobulated and suffering from temporary amnesia. That is the scariest thing that anyone ever will experience. My heart was beating fast, my hands were sweaty, and my son kept saying, Mom, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay. It's okay. Just think about it. It's okay. So I start to feel better. I start to like breathe and pray. And then finally I thought, you know what? Let me go and Google in my phone. Google take me home. First time ever that I ever agreed with your phone knowing where you live, okay? Because it saved my life that day. Google then began to tell me how to get back home. I remember getting out of that and just boohoo crying and getting in the bed. Like, what is going on? What is happening to me? Right? There were times that I would be coming from church, particularly something about 10, particularly would just make me nervous. So there were times that I would be driving from Bible study, get on 10 to go home, and get this eerie feeling that I was going to have a wreck and someone was going to hit me and we were going to die. And I got to get my baby home. This feeling is called, these are called intrusive thoughts. Okay, intrusive thoughts is part of a severe case of GAD. So intrusive thoughts, it was like rushing. Right? I'm going to die. I'm going to die. We're going to die. We're all going to die. Oh my God, we're going to die. And I'm driving 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour on 10 West, going towards the medical center. I'm driving. I'm shaking. My legs are literally like jelly. People are blowing the horn. Making me more nervous. Steven, Mom, it's okay. It's okay, Mom. You're okay. Are you having a panic attack? Are you about to have a panic attack? So I'm having a panic attack driving. Finally, after so many times of that, so many times of getting lost, being at the store, not really doing, and then I got used to trying to control the way to get home. Okay, remember you get home this way. Remember this. Remember that. Nobody's gonna shoot you. You're not gonna die. Today's not a day that you're gonna die. God's not gonna let you die. You're gonna be okay. And I'm pep talking myself to go to the store, y'all. To go to people like, oh, why, you never come to stuff. No, because I have anxiety and I don't want to deal with all of that. I don't want to get dressed. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. And then I'm such a person, like I'm such a strong person, and so I didn't know how I was gonna feel. Like, what if I got lost? What if people saw that I was getting lost? That's another thing that anxiety says. What if they see that you're really like cuckoo, right? What if they see that you really have anxiety and it's really, really bad? And so there were times that I wouldn't go places with a whole bunch of people because I was too scared. Like, it was just a lot. I didn't want nobody to see me, and I didn't want, and then my wardrobe, what if it didn't look right, and this and that, and it was just, y'all, it was just a mess. So what I did was I got diagnosed, and then I will tell you how great this the change was, because I got diagnosed with oh Lord, I got diagnosed, and then when I got diagnosed, everything got better. And when I tell you these technical difficulties are horrible today, everything got better. And so I will tell you on the next segment how things got better. Give me 1 second, okay? And you guys are going to see how things got better. All right, that didn't work, and so we're gonna go on with it. So I got diagnosed, and I went into my doctor, right? And I told her what was going on. Told my doctor what was going on. I apologize, y'all, but this is not gonna happen again because I'm gonna be in a whole nother studio. So got diagnosed and went into a situation where my doctor was saying, hey, how can I help you? what's going on. So I was telling her like all this stuff, and she gave me this list of things that may or may not be a cause for anxiety. She was like, it sounds like you have this anxiety. I kept calling it depression. She was like, oh, well, there may be some depression there, but it sounds like something else is going on. So she gave me like this test, like this is questionnaire. And what showed up was ADD and GAD both together. So I got Lexapro was the first medication that I was on. Yeah. When I tell y'all Lexapro saved my life, oh my goodness. This is why I'm such an advocate for medication. And I'm an advocate for it. I'm sorry. Because I thought, oh no, we're not supposed to take medicine. No. Because see, what happened to me, it was horrible. And I was doing that and didn't nobody know. You know what I'm saying? Like I was over here suffering in silence and nobody knew. So when I got on Lexapro, I made a grocery list for the first time. I went to the grocery store, y'all, and I was like, I ain't thought about nobody shooting up the grocery store. Okay, medicine. It saved my life. Now, there were some things that I wanted to say real quick in reference to generalized anxiety disorder so that you know what to look for. And if you have someone that is constantly worrying, constantly like paranoid, you might want to suggest, hey, sis, friend, cousin, have you ever thought about looking into generalized anxiety disorder? Seeing if that's something that you suffer from, whatever, because it's generalized because it's overall. You worry about everything. You worry about anything. You worry about who's next door to you, which ain't none of your business. You worry about whether somebody gonna come in and fire you. You worry about whether your kid's gonna come back from school, or if the bus got shot up, or if the bus tipped over, or if the bus got hit by a train, and then the bus got hit by a train, and then your mind, when your mind turn against you, y'all, oh my God, it's the worst feeling. So here's some things that we're going to talk about in reference to how you can find out like what it looks like, and even in your own life. For instance, persistent obsessive worry. Now, I've described that to you in my own story. And if you have anything similar, I'm going to need for you to go figure out what's going on. And I think sometimes we are so against medicine that we are sabotaging our own selves, because you don't have to take anything strong, because sometimes just a little bit can help you, especially if you're like me and you like to self-manage, on your own. Worry or dread about something that is far worse than the situation and the reality. Okay, so this affects relationships. Okay, because even with anxiety, I have to control it, because somebody can say something to me and I'm just like, I'm on the extreme. Okay, well then I won't ever come over there no more. I won't ever, don't bother me. You know what I mean? Okay, because see, I can stay home. Because that's where I like to be anyway, right? So, okay, well, and it makes for you to have a really bad relationship, because you can obsess and overthink about things that's not really, you don't really have to obsess about them. And if you don't have a patient, understanding spouse or significant other, it's going to damage your relationship bad, right? Because you're not able to talk about what you're feeling. And then if you have those people that they'll listen just to gain information, just to use it against you later, it even makes your anxiety even worse, because you're laying next to someone that you can't talk to, right? So you can't tell them all the intrusive thoughts that's going through your mind so that someone can say, no, that's not going to happen. No one's going to shoot up the house. No one's going to shoot up HEB. It's okay to go. I'm here. I'll go with you, things like that. Inability to set aside worry and focus on something else. So there are times where I'm really good at rechanneling my energy now. So before, I would just obsessively worry about stuff, right? And then wouldn't get nothing done at work. And it'd be days before anything got done at work, projects, whatever, because I was just in a daze about what was going on and why, or what, just overthinking, not able to turn that off. Is he cheating on me? Is the kids gonna do this? Am I gonna fail? Oh my God. Writing a book. I don't want nobody to know my life. I don't want nobody talking about me. Oh my God. Talking about me? Don't talk about me. I don't want you talking about me. I can't stand to be talked about. I don't care if Jesus got talked about. I don't want to be talked about. I hate it. I can't stand it. But now I'm getting better. Talk. You ain't got to worry about it because I tell on myself. So that's way easier. But when I was dealing with the shame that came with mental illness and the suffering that came with it, then yeah, I didn't want you talking about me because really you didn't know what was going on. Really, I didn't want people to talk about me because they didn't know what I was suffering from. And I can't say that. I can't say, hey, I got this, and this. Because then people say, well, you ain't really got that. Well, you don't know. You don't deal with this every day. Another thing was the inability to make decisions and making rational, emotional decisions. I'm talking years, 20 years. I'm just making all these decisions, emotional decisions, getting up, leaving relationships, doing all kinds of stuff, just doing stuff. And it was because I don't have the proper ability to make decisions. Now, there's a way for me to make decisions now, but that's been in the last 3 years. I have to make a list of things that are pros and cons if I'm going to make a move for anything, because I grew to not trust myself in the process of making decisions because I was making a lot of decisions based on my own fears, anxieties. Yeah, yeah. No, I was. No, I was. So the next thing is constant obsession over a situation, thinking the negative conclusion that it can come to. So, like, for instance, I get into an argument with significant other, and I say we get into an argument, and I say we're gonna break up. And I begin to go through this breakup, right? I begin to go through this thing where we done broke up and we're not together, and you know what I mean, in my mind and all this. And it's not that. It was just a heated discussion, heated fellowship, right? But no, I'm all the way to the left. I'm overthinking something he said, like one phrase. I done thought about it, and I can't let it go. That's part of anxiety. Restlessness and feeling constantly on edge and unable to relax. So there were a time where my friends would be like, you need to sit your butt down somewhere. You always moving around. You always got, something to do. You always adulting, always washing clothes, always cleaning up, always do. Well, one, because I start something and I don't finish it because I'm ADHD or whatever, ADD. And then two, I have anxiety. And three, I was suffering from depression. So I really wasn't ever finishing cleaning up or any of that, right? So I kept having to do that all the time. And so I was unable to relax. I could never just sit down and relax. I could never just sit and just chill, right? And so I needed to do that. I needed to learn to do that. Oh, but baby, when I got on Lexapro, chill mode was on 10. Okay. And I was able to sort out my thoughts and think about what I needed to do next and the process of doing things. And I actually I'm a YouTube and Google queen, right? So I started to say how to make decisions, how to stop making emotional decisions, how to make decisions through anxiety, how to make decisions, and I adopted some of those ways of doing that, making decisions, doing what I needed to do, handling business, how to handle business, how to handle my money. Because with anxiety, sometimes you also have a little bit where you saving a lot, but then also you spending a lot. So that's another thing. And then lack of ability to concentrate or having your mind go blank. Now, that's what happens when I'm driving or when I was getting lost, right? Is that I was literally blank. There are times when you get up, when you have anxiety, and people do this, but it's worse when you have anxiety. Like, say, for instance, I have to go to another room to get copies that I printed on my computer. So I print something and then someone asks me something, right? And I answer them. I get up because I'm going to the other room, but then I don't know why I went to the other room. Now, this may happen to someone once or twice, say once or twice a month, the regular person with the regular mind. Bless y'all. But for me, it happens almost every day that I can't remember what I was doing or what I did with something or like can't remember anything. And it's because of the anxiety. So, ways that we can cope with anxiety is like one of those things where you have to know what you can do to cope, right? And you have to know yourself and you have to be honest with yourself and say, hey, something's wrong. Like, I am really suffering from this. Like, we try to be like, oh, I'm going to pray it out. And the Bible says to take every thought that into captivity that exalts itself against the knowledge of Jesus Christ. I get it. Absolutely. Do it. But practically also, there are ways to handle anxiety, right? That will allow you to manage it. I'm all about managing, right? Because I don't know that we can cure these things. And God can. He can heal us from anything. Don't get me wrong. Yeshua can heal us and we'll just be a testimony of what God did. But I think we also have to be honest with ourselves and say, I'm suffering from this so that God can begin to heal. So during our next segment, we're going to talk about coping with GAD.
Welcome to Endure Entertainment, the home of clean entertainment with one vision, one goal to inspire. Our television talk show lineup. Mondays, The Michelle Jackson Show. Tuesdays, Thomas Ministries. Thursdays, Real Talk with Ella Michelle. Fridays, I've Got Favor with Prophetess T. Freeman. Saturdays, Anjanette Speaks. Sundays, Bonafide Talk. Syndication, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, GeoSavant, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addicts, Podcast Chaser, and more to come. In addition to the board of directors, we now have a team of business professionals, business administrators, graphic designers, spiritual counselors, and more. If anyone would like to be a part of this awesome team, dial 919-819-9336. We are Endure Entertainment, the home of clean entertainment with one vision, one goal to inspire.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And thank you for listening to Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring. Thank you for coming in, having a seat, and listening on today. So this next segment is talking about coping with GAD. Now, in order to cope with GAD, we need to cope with some of the underlying issues first, right? So that when you are dealing with GAD, I'm looking at a computer, that's why I'm looking away. And when you are looking to cope with GAD, you want to also cope with those things that are causing GAD, right? So you don't want to cope with GAD and then trying to cope with GAD, but then you still have some stresses in your life. So here's the first thing I would say. I use this thing called process of elimination. I don't know about you, but things around me will constantly make me feel a certain way, right? And so I feel that when we are dealing with, say, stresses at work, stresses in relationships, stresses with kids, that will actually trigger, stress will trigger your GAD. So one thing I started doing is meditating. Okay. I started going into my closet, not praying. Okay. I'm not talking, yes, praying, but focused on like a scripture, right? And I just took exercises, and I got a fan because and like they teach you like to, when you meditate and you focus on like the sound and all of that. So it's about mind control because your mind is taking over, right? Your mind is telling you all these crazy things. So what you want to do is you want to relax and just breathe. Go in the room and you feel yourself stressed out. Go somewhere, if it's in your car, whatever. Put on water, put on scripture, whatever makes you relax, and just breathe and breathe it out. Breathe those thoughts out. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. 5, 10 minutes just breathing. It helps a lot. Also, eliminating the stresses in your life. So if that is that at work you need to be more organized or you need to make a list. If you have a high demanding job like me, I make lists. I bought this to show you. This is what I have. And it's not a planner. This is just my day thing, okay? So I make lists of things that I have to do at work, at home, whatever. It's something that you have to make yourself do, but it's worth it. So I make a list of things that I have to do at work, and I cross those list things out as I go. Okay, that helps you manage anxiety. Another thing that helps you manage is journaling your thoughts and bringing those thoughts to captivity, right? And stop with the what ifs. You have to manage the what ifs. You can't control the what ifs. The serenity prayer, you can't control the what ifs. It's only granting you things that you can control, right? So granting you the strength of for the things that you can control. That's it. You can't control anything else, right? So when you're doing that, and when you are managing anxiety and you're self-aware, you can almost tell when you're about to have a panic attack, or when your GAD is out of control, or when it's getting better. Okay. I think that what we need to focus on is day to day, right? Not worried about next week and next year and whatever. Okay. A lot of times what we do is we extend those stressors, right? And so it's like, oh my God, I have to have this done before 2 years, and then you looking into that. You got GAD. You need to stay right on up in here and streamline your life so you can focus. Okay. So streamlining your life as far as anxiety is concerned, I talked about doing those exercises, but process of elimination. If there are people that give you anxiety, family members, friends, people that you're not sure about, don't go around them. Limit that activity, limit that access, and you'll see that your anxiety will drop significantly. I recently, this summer, made a huge change in my lifestyle, and I can tell the level of anxiety has gone down tremendously. Tremendously. My performance at work has been much better since June. I mean, now there's been times like my house is in a disarray, a lot of things are happening, and so I'm not good with change, like a whole bunch of change at one time. Because again, I have to organize my thoughts and figure out what I'm doing. But for the most part, I can say that because I've changed some things in my life, that GAD has really decreased a lot. Uh, and taking medication in a timely manner, making sure that I'm taking it, because what I'm on manages depression and anxiety and ADD. And so it's been a lot better. I'm able to focus. I'm able to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do um, at this time. And so I want to encourage you that if any of this makes any sense to you, and you say to yourself, you know what, there was something else that I read that I wanted to talk to you guys about before I say what I was going to say. All right, this is another one. All right, the 3-3-3 rule. So when you're dealing with anxiety and you have a lot going on in your life, and you see that you're about to have a panic attack, you can feel it. Your heart starts racing fast. Maybe you get cotton mouth. Maybe your mouth gets watery. Maybe you get your stomach starts to get messed up. Maybe your ears ring. Your body talks to you and tells you, "Hey, something's wrong. I'm overstimulated." This is what you can do. You look around and find three things. Three things. You're going to find, then name three sounds you hear. So you're going to say, I hear the AC. I hear the birds chirping. I hear paper rustling. Then you're going to say, you can find, move your body, three of your body parts. 3-3-3. So you're going to go 1-2, my hands, moving my feet, right? And the next one, your fingers and your arms. So 3-3-3. Look around you and name three things you see, then three things that you hear. So then you're going to say, I see, I hear, I feel, right? That's going to refocus your mind. So what did I say we're going to do? First thing I said was process of elimination, right? And then you're going to journal. First thing was meditate, and then process of elimination, and then journaling, and then 3-3-3 rule. 3-3-3 rule. So you're going to do 3-3-3. I see the Santa Claus, I see the Christmas trees, and I see food. I hear the AC, I hear the birds chirping, and I hear paper rustling. I move one hand, I move another hand, and I move my feet. I'm moving my arms back and forth. That helps you to know I'm alive, I'm well, I'm good, right? So, in conclusion, I wanted to let you know and share my story of GAD and how I decided to go ahead and find out what was going on with that, right? And so I went to my doctor and I told my doctor some of the things that I was experiencing, and I got help. And I encourage you to do the same. There is nothing wrong with being saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and getting help. The physicians are who God called to help us with our mind, our bodies, to keep them healthy, okay? Because God in his infinite wisdom knew that we would be in position where we might be stressed out. And the mind talks about the mind all over the Bible, renewing your mind. What do you think you're doing when you're doing these things? You're renewing your mind, right? You're exercising that mind. This thing right here, when it turns against you, it is a horrible thing. But when you know that you can control it and you know that God has your back, right? And that you can call those things under captivity, okay, that exalts itself against the knowledge of Jesus Christ, you know that you can call those things under subjection. That's when you win the battle. So I'm just here to help. My name is Anjanette Speaks. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope that I've given you some information that will make you explore and go to your doctor if needed, or help someone else. Show this broadcast. Share, share, share. I am here to enlighten you. Again, I'm Anjanette. I am a mental health advocate, and I am thankful that you joined me today. The real, the raw, and the inspiring Anjanette Speaks. You have a great Saturday.